Hello, everyone. You're listening to Going Solo with Cece, and I am Cece Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building, and you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are the #1 singles talk network, and we're really excited about that. We're happy that all the singles join us and listen to our shows. Not only do they sometimes listen live, but they listen to the rebroadcast, and sometimes they do it a couple times, which makes me very happy because I realize that where you are now is not where you're going to be. And then sometimes when you hear a show, you can't grasp everything that you're hearing. And so we have those that listen a little bit later on thinking, I remember hearing something about that, and they want to listen again. And then the information is readily available for you. And we keep all of our shows right on our website, which is goingsolomedia.com. We have a great deal of our shows there. And we also keep all of our shows on YouTube. So you're welcome to go on YouTube. We have a whole channel on a WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And we have them all there separated for you per different hosts and different shows. And so there's like over 500 shows there. They're growing like crazy. And I'm really excited about all that's happening. So I hope that you guys enjoy the shows like we do. So Going Solo with Cece, those of you who have never heard the show before, we talk about all kinds of things with regards to being solo. And we take you sometimes through divorce, relationship loss, through the transition of dating. And yes, we're going to talk about dating tonight. So I'm excited to be able to bring that forward with you. And we have a wonderful guest on tonight. She is very nationally known, so she's really internationally known. And it's exciting to have someone of her quality on our show. And so I hope that you will appreciate it as much as I do. She's a wonderful gal. She really gives up her heart. She has helped, hundreds of people as they're struggling through, both men and women struggling through relationships and trying to build them and really be whole again, which is very, very important. I think when we're looking for that special someone in our lives, right? We want to raise that vibration so that we have the right person come into our lives. Well, this lady is like no other. She's also a wonderful author of a couple different books. So let's bring her forward. Her name is Renée Piane. Am I pronouncing it right, Renée?
It's Piane. I'm Italian.
Piane, yes. The beautiful name. The beautiful name. Yes, but you're also known as the love designer, which that's easier for me to say. So the love designer. So tell us a little bit, how did you pick up that name, the love designer?
Well, I was in the beauty industry for a really long time, and I was a wedding planner and designer, and I've always designed things. I designed people's love nests, their wardrobes, their image online. So I owned Rapid Dating. I was the first person to do Rapid Dating, and everyone knew me as Rapid Dating. And then when Rapid Dating stopped live and went to phones, I was like rebranding. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to rebrand myself. And I was praying actually, like, what could I call myself? And I really do help people do a step-by-step process to design their love life. So that's where the love designer came from.
I love that. I totally do. And you've got a great couple of books out you've actually written, which is what brought us together with regards to the authors. We were both in New York there and we met, I believe. And I'm not sure, did we meet in New York or was it someplace else?
I don't recall. I think I met you online because I was looking up people on LinkedIn that do radio, because I love sharing my message through radio. And when I saw Going Solo, I was like, well, that's what I help people to do, to get out of being solo and get back in the game after divorce. I really am a heart healer. I have always had the ability to read into people and also to help them with matters of the heart, because I myself was brokenhearted over the years, and I would go to therapy, but the therapist really couldn't tell me how to date. They couldn't really, they're not really supposed to say, well, you might want to go up there and, get a little sexier and go online. They give good advice. They give great healing advice, but sometimes they're not really allowed to do some of that advice. So a lot of therapists send their clients to me when they're not really sure how to teach their clients about getting back in the dating game after divorce or infidelity, or to trust and love again.
Yeah, what I like so much about you is that you deal with both men and women, and that's very vital, I think, as we go forward. Oh, we have a comment right here. Love you, Renee. Thank you for your advice. Hey, those of you, oh, there we go. If you just sign in to the StreamYard, and then your picture will come up. And so Amanda did that. So it's great to be able to have that. So thanks, Amanda, for commenting. We really do appreciate that. And anyone else out there that's listening, we love your comments. So please, I mean, it's a joy for us to be able to share this with you, and for you to comment. It's a true honor. So we appreciate that. But Renee, I was really so taken back by you, because you help both men and women, but you really do help them from the ground floor up, and you really help design the type of life and the love life that they truly want to be inspired by. And so I think so often, as we're traveling from relationship loss and we're moving into this new world of single, and then trying to decide what kind of partner we want in our lives, because maybe something with the last partner didn't quite work out or whatever. So we're kind of evaluating some of that stuff. But you kind of help put something together. And on your site, I came across the Love Design session. So can you share a little bit of that with our audience?
Sure. Like when people come, I always say, people call and they go, I'm in a situation, right? So every person that is watching this is either in a breakup phase, or they've been frustrated looking for love. They're in a situation with somebody that they know they shouldn't be with, but they hang in there for a really long time because they don't want to be alone. So I try I do a discovery session with them to decide, to give them sort of a purview of what their next steps could be, and then whether they use me to take them further than that. So I take an overview of, if they have an online presence, how do they come across? Are they really ready for love, and they're out there looking, but then they have the wall, they have that thick wall. So they're really not allowing anyone into their lives. So I do this evaluation. So I look at everything that they're doing right now, the actions that they're taking, and then I come up with a personalized plan for each individual person. And they can go forward and take that, or, that advice, and go forward on their own, or of course, get a coach like myself to help them to do those things. Because some people are not good at articulating who they are. So, and then they get a free copy of my book as well. So they get a copy of Get Real About Love with the process. And this takes them through that process. And people find it to be very like, wow, I didn't think that I might need this. But if a person is going out there to look with a broken heart or doubts, then what happens is one part of them wants love and the other part of them doesn't. And then they never get the goal, because they're split in their actions that they're taking. So I kind of just can figure out where they are and inspire them to move forward, or to slow down and take time to heal.
Yeah, it's so true. And what I liked so much about it was that I know in my own experience, and I share this with the audience a lot, is that there were so many, things I wish I had done differently at the beginning, because I just didn't know. But a lot of it was, I was so fearful of another relationship. Although I wanted a relationship, then I was fearful of one. And so I like the idea of being able to, talk with someone, walk through some of those issues that I know that I had. I'm sure others out there might very well have. And because it's easy for someone to say, oh, just go out and, start dating.
Yeah, they go, get back in there, go out and play. Guys, it's very interesting how men approach it and women approach it. Now, the women that are out there, we have a tribe. Usually women have like a tribe of friends, and you can talk to your friends about it. And then they start setting you up with people, inviting you to parties. Men, however, ladies, I can tell you this. I have been coaching men now since 1992, doing image makeovers, realizing that most men, not all, there's a lot of wonderful men that have had great role models in their life, but with the world the way that it was back in the 50s, there wasn't any men that were 50 and up learning the Prince training that all of us older women like myself had experienced, thought we were going to experience, like getting swept off our feet and being swept away by a prince, right? Well, where did the prince get his Prince training? Really from nowhere. But the younger men are, thank God, they have the privacy of the internet, because men, when they get hurt, they are so sensitive about it. They don't want anybody to know about it. They're very private about their personal affairs. And back in 1992, I started doing a part-time, it was a free volunteer to go to a class to teach men how to look for women, how to dress and how to walk, how to flirt. And I just had a segment of a class on how to pick up girls. And all the men were like, I need a woman to give me their opinion. And it started a business for me back in 1992 that was unexpected. And I got on television, and then I wrote Love Mechanics, my first book. And this book is my very first book, called The Power Tools to Build Successful Relationships with Women. So a lot of women, when they break up with somebody, they buy them the book and say, read this. And the guys are like, God, I wish I had read this before, you know, how to set up their home, how the things they say completely derail women from wanting to date them, and they're unaware. So I myself was an older bride, because I used to prepare brides for weddings, and I would often see that you could tell the connection wasn't there. Like you were talking about that spiritual connection. People want that spiritual connection with a soulmate, and sometimes people in different cultures get pushed into getting married young when they really don't know themselves. So my work teaches people how to get in touch with themselves and what they want to design for their lifestyle. Because we're basically, when you meet somebody, you're matching your lifestyle with their lifestyle, and you can have all the chemistry in the world. But if your religion and your eating habits and the families don't merge, sometimes it really causes rocky relationships. So I advise people to really do an evaluation of who you are and what you have to bring to the table, and also looking at the life of a person without rushing into love. And now everybody's rushing into love. They're swiping, dating, having sex. It's crazy. It's totally crazy.
But see here, that's not love. That's just, you're just looking at, when you're doing that, you're just looking at a picture. So you're looking at to see if there's something that intrigues you about that person. But the quality of that person doesn't really come through until you actually meet them. And so it's so fast. But what I am finding is that those that are coming out of long-term relationships, they're not who they were when they started the relationship, right?
Yeah.
And so when they come out of the relationship, when they start dating, they start thinking back of what it was like when they were younger, and that's really not who they are now. And so you don't want to attract the person that you thought you wanted when you were younger, because you're at a different place in your life, wouldn't you say?
Well, that's why I call myself a reinvention expert. I had to reinvent after heartbreaks. I may have not have gotten married until I was in my 40s, but I had long-term relationships. And when I would break up with people, because it's interesting, if most people that are listening to this, if you really look back when you were dating or got married, often you were really young and inexperienced, right? And now you're older and you're wiser, but you still have broken parts of yourself, right? Some of us have damage from, lying husbands or wives, or people that walk out on us and they cheat, or whatever it is that you're in the middle of, and you put this barrier to your heart. So my book, the subtitle is The Secrets to Opening Your Heart to Find True Love. And sometimes it's opening up to even loving yourself in a different way and looking to see who do you want to be in your next relationship, so that you're not carrying the pain that you had into relationships in your future. And a lot of people have pain not only from themselves, but if you look at this painting behind me, the painting is a description of your lineage of love. The roots of where you learned about love usually came from your grandparents and your parents. It's like the tree of life. And as they installed you with messages, whether good or bad, mine weren't so good. So when you read my book, you're going to go, holy crap, this girl went through a lot to find love. And I did. I got led into my career because trust was one of my biggies, from seeing my grandmother, my great aunts, my mother's sisters, and friends of the family coming to my mother's house as a little girl. And I used to sneak down and listen to all their conversations about men, or that men were unfaithful and couldn't be trusted. So it was a mantra that came into my life at 6, saying, don't trust men, with fingers, big Italian women. No, no, no. Get your own money, make money. Do not trust a man to take care of you. So I listened to that as a young girl. And interestingly enough, in my own big family of 6 children, I was the only one listening to those negative programs. And my other brothers and sisters all had healthy relationships, but they didn't see what I saw, and they didn't hear what I heard when I was a young girl. So they read my book a few years ago and were like, oh my God, I never even knew that happened. No wonder you got led into the love business. I was healing myself and trying to heal others as well.
Well, it's sad that happened. It's sad that you'd experienced that, just like I've experienced things in my life. Yeah. But because of that, it really makes us more centered in what we do to help people. Absolutely. And so sometimes I wonder our journey, if we're just meant to experience things that maybe others, just don't, so that we can be more relatable. That's okay.
My dog, he agrees. My dog agrees.
I think so.
I have to say, hey, Grumpy Bear, he has an enemy that's standing outside of our window that he does not like. It's so funny. But anyway, since we're home, he's here. Yeah. But I want to say something to that. The lineage of a person's family is one of the keys to choosing a healthy relationship. And not always do you have to worry about, say your mother-in-law and the father-in-law in the family. But if they're from completely different cultures, sometimes it causes challenges in marriage. Because I know myself, many Jewish men thought I was Jewish, and I'm Italian. And I know I come off as a, kind of a fancy, a lot of Jewish women wear jewelry. They said, well, it's the jewelry, you wear jewelry. I said, well, Italians wear jewelry, but I would say to them, I know that in your culture, it's very important for your mother and father to accept me, because the younger generations are mixing, religions. Stop it, Mr. Bunny. No. This is my dog, buddy. He's going to come and be. Look how cute he is.
Doesn't look ferocious as it sounds.
Anyway, he's my other love besides my husband. But no barking. No, I'm going to.
Hey.
Buddy.
Hey.
I'm so sorry. I just was trying to stop him from barking. So don't look at him.
Look at the camera.
Look at the camera.
Look at the camera.
What I'm saying is that when these gentlemen would say, oh, it doesn't matter to my family that you're not Jewish. And I said, well, let me meet them, because I want to look at your mother's face and ask her that question, because it's important to me to love a person's family, because I come from a very large Italian family. So depending on your family upbringing and your beliefs, like you might not care about that. Or maybe if you're a Jewish mother listening and saying, well, my son isn't going to marry a woman that isn't Jewish. Well, maybe you should open your mind up, because people around the world, in India, all over, I work internationally with people in Algeria, Muslims. And when I did rapid dating, I worked with over 500,000 people in 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s from all different types of families, all different types of cultures. It was fascinating how they were raised and how they were taught that love was supposed to be a certain way. So you need to find that out when you're dating.
Yeah. I think that's really important. I know that, for instance, my ex, he's Jewish and I'm not Jewish. And we didn't really think that it would make a difference. But his father was okay with me, but his mother was not okay with me. And she was the meanest, and God rest her soul, she's not dead, but she was
there
the
is nothing
meanest.
like the wrath of a Jewish mother that doesn't like you, because I did do the Jewish dating thing with this one gentleman for a while. And I have to say, he did not tell me the truth. He was lying. And when I met her, I could tell just by her jaw clenching when she saw me, and said, "What synagogue, darling, do you belong to?" And I said, "Well, actually, I am Italian. I'm 100% Italian." And all of a sudden, just the whole body language changed, and it turned into a horrible thing. Now, I just had a client, a beautiful girl. She was not Muslim, and she was dating a gentleman, very wealthy family. The family liked her until they got engaged, and they were setting up their wedding. And she just found out after 8.5 years that her fiance's mother totally poo-pooed the wedding and told him that if he married her, that he would not get his inheritance of $5 million in the future when they died, which was not going to be long from now. They were older. They would not allow him to marry her. And she was at a wedding, and his uncle came over and said, "I just want you to know ahead of time, because I think you're the most lovely woman, but my sister is not going to allow you to marry my nephew. So you better get out, because you're going to drag 9 years for someone not to tell the truth." So my body of work is, be honest. If you are hurting right now and you're in the middle of a divorce, there's nothing wrong with maybe starting to date in the dating game, but let people know, I'm not ready for anything. I'm looking for friendship. If people were clear and honest about the phase they're in, they would not have as much trouble in the dating game, and they wouldn't be so frustrated, right? Get clear and get real. Get real with people. This is where
I think you have to be real with yourself. So if you're truly not ready to date, if you're just going out there because it's an ego or you want to try it on or whatever, you're not being fair to the people that are ready to date. And so you're just going to end up getting hurt again, or it's just going to get into the muckety-muck thing. And you're going to divert the time and attention you need in order to be able to work on yourself. And so I think that really those that are not ready to date, they need to just own up to it and then work on themselves. Because I think once they do that, spend a little bit more time working on themselves, when they're ready, then it will be so much easier. It'll go a lot smoother.
It's the secrets really are, like, if you look, even I'll have to send you the book. I'll send you a copy. It is on Tinder. It's looking at I tell how my journey began, but who trained you about love, the men's lack of love training, get real reflections after each chapter. So you do a reality check of your life phases first, healing from a breakup. There's all phases of breakup healing tactics, most people don't even think about it. But when somebody says, "I just broke up with somebody," it often takes time for them to heal. When they jump right into the dating game right away, often when this is my experience from thousands of my clients, they jump in, and then if they do have sex with somebody within a few weeks, because usually it's like, 3 or 4 dates, people think they're going to lock it down. This is the way guys talk. "I'm going to lock her down after the 3rd date." I'm like, 3rd date? You didn't even know anything about her. Why would you want to do that? Sexual energy is very important. Chemistry is very important. But I always say to the women and the men out there, if you have chemistry in the beginning, then build it over time. Build a foundation before you jump into it sexually all the way. Because then one or more of you is going to have a certain expectation, and people need to talk about that. I have a whole chapter on how to talk about sex, because it messes people up. I don't know how many women you probably coach that say, "I met the man of my dreams. He was on Facebook or he was on wherever they met him." And I hear these stories all the time. "He's my soulmate." I said, "Well, how long have you known him?" "Well, it's only been a month, but we already slept together on the 2nd date. But the last 3 weeks, something's weird. He started to pull away." And I'm like, "Because you don't even know him." I said, have you met anyone that knows him? Have you been to his work? Do you know anything about him? Especially when they're at a distance, So there's all sorts of scenarios that if people were smart, they would just slow down the process, because chemistry is chemistry. If it's there, you build on it. You can play a little bit, but just don't open your whole soul and your heart right away to somebody that you don't know enough about.
That's exactly it. You open your heart and your soul. And so, sex is more than just the act itself. And so often we look at it from that perspective. Even men look at it from that perspective, but it's not. I mean, when you actually have sex with someone, you're really joining your souls together. And so you've really got to give yourself some space and some time with that, and get to know the other person to see if there's something you can build on. Because see, that's the whole thing, is it's like you're going to keep on building, but if you can't build on it, like if the guy's pulling away, it's because you're not building anything, right? You're not building on it.
Well, interestingly enough, there's a client that I have right now who's very handsome, very talented. And, he lived all over the world, and he's very famous, in different parts of the world. And he has access to more women than probably any man I've ever met. I mean, he's just a beautiful spirit and a very sexy guy. But he was away and fell in love with somebody that was in the midst of a divorce. And it was very heartbreaking for him, because as they got closer, she started to pull back. And then he was so in love with her, wanting to come to the rescue of her situation. And then her husband found out about him, but he was already off with someone else. But as soon as he found out that she had this handsome man in her life, he put her through hell. So he got jealous and tried to destroy the foundation of her relationship. So she broke it off from him. And even after that, he left her with no money to support her daughter. And it was just this really sad situation. So the woman pulled back from my client and friend, and he just is devastated, And I said, but it's like the right love at the wrong time, right?
Right.
Sometimes I say to people go, but she was it, or he was it. And I say, sometimes the love comes at the wrong time, and then it will come back if it's right. But in the meantime, you can't put your life on hold for somebody that's in a situation that you had nothing to do with, and you can't take it personally. Now, this happens a lot. I'm sure you hear about it, because people going through a divorce. So I married somebody that was in the midst of a divorce, and I was warned the whole time, do not do this. But you got to remember, many of you that are in the midst of a divorce, how long was it before you got the divorce that you were really divorced from the energy of your husband or wife, right? Most people say, I was already divorced in my mind and in my heart 3 years ago when he beat me up and I took him back. A part of our marriage was over, but they stayed anyway, right? So a lot of times, by the time a person gets a divorce, if it wasn't one of those shocking, oh my God, he has a girlfriend on the side, and they get thrown out, that's a different game. But I'm saying, if somebody has been already feeling that separation from their partner, and then it takes them 5 years to get divorced, they're usually ready. Sometimes people are ready to be married because they weren't happy where they were for 3 years. I hear clients that come to me, they say,
I don't, and I beg to differ, because I feel like
I'm just asking
even if you okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And because even if you are still in the relationship, even if you're going through that space of time where you're going to be separated, you still haven't been separated, I think it's very common for a 5 year, something happens in the relationship, then and that's really kind of when the break is. And usually a partner will start stepping out of the relationship, but you haven't gotten divorced yet. You're still married, and there's a time period. And a lot of times it is 5 years that you're still within that before you actually get the divorce. But here's the thing, is you can't start dating again because you've never been single. You've never experienced the life of being center on yourself, going solo. You've never experienced that. So you haven't been able to grow and develop your own center. You've been a center with somebody else. And so a lot of their needs, and especially women, a lot of our focus is always on our partner needs and wants and desires and things like that. And so when we, especially after long-term marriage, when we break away and we start being single, that's that's the first time in our lives that we've actually started to think about ourselves, and we start thinking about what is it that we truly want? What do we like? What do we experience? And so I often tell them to go back and think about like when you were in high school and what you enjoyed, the arts and different things like that, and start growing from that. What makes you happy? And you start growing and developing the person that you're going to become. So if you start dating right off the bat or before you even separate, you haven't stepped into the.
You might have misunderstood me. I wasn't saying just to jump right in. I don't.
Okay. All
right. I was just saying that when people, like my husband was already way out of it, separated, out of the house, the divorce was happening. But most people were even saying not to get involved with him even then. But I just took it slow and built a foundation of friendship before we got romantically involved. And I got to see that he had already felt like it wasn't right many years back, right? And I didn't want to be the first person to jump in. He was dating other women at that time and told them. So this is why I was telling you this. When people are going through divorce, there are phases of it. Like if it's at the very end, it could take, sometimes people don't get divorced because of money. They stay together because of money, but they're already separated from each other. They have moved on, wife has a boyfriend and the husband. So it's individual for everybody, because some people stay married and have other relationships because of money. They do it because of money and businesses that they have together. And they know that if they get divorced, it's going to cost them a fortune. I have that happen all the time with rich people.
Oh yeah. No, I totally.
So I'm not saying to go like, okay, guy tells you my wife left 2 days ago, and you're going to go, wow, he's ready for marriage. But this particular man liked being married. My husband liked being married and told me he was never, ever going to get married again. So from that, but he was in the middle of a bad divorce, and I did not want to be the person to heal him. So I just became friends with him, but he had already gone through a phase of dating before I met him. So I didn't want to be one of the first few people to do that. But I do know from many of the people that I've coached that are divorced, and I ask questions about how it happened, and they say, I had already felt divorced from my wife or my husband many years ago because he wasn't there for me, or she wasn't there for me, or whatever happened, all the different scenarios, which I know you've heard many. But I'm just saying that often those people, when they do inner work, like you're talking about, and get to know who they are now and how they want to reinvent, that's where all of the stuff you're talking about, finding your new self, looking at the phases that other people are in, because guess what? If you're 40, 50, 60, most of the people that you're going to be dating have been divorced, a lot of them, or at least 65% of them, because, they've been around the sun a few times, so I didn't expect that at my age. When I was in my 40s, women come to me and say, I want a man that's never been married. He doesn't have any kids, no baggage. He has money. He has this, he has that. I said, well, most people have a package that comes along with their life. And some of it could have to do with that he or she has been married before. Maybe they have children and they have a certain lifestyle. Is that what you want? And I wanted to be with a man that had children. So I ended up marrying a man that had a son, and I was very excited about it. Other people have a list this long of what they want.
I know.
And I'm like, come on, girls, come on, guys. We're in our 40s and 50s. But do you know how many people that are out there, if they do this inner work that's in my books, and I'm sure other authors that you've had on, this will make you get real about what you want. Look at your vision. Look at what you're saying right now. Because listen, if you're in a half second part of your life, let's face it, you have 20, 30, 40, 50 more years you could love again, But if you have all this negativity and anger and disappointments, and you speak about it over and over and over, it keeps people away. It keeps.
Well, and you're just not ready to date. You're not ready to have that. Yeah.
But get help while you're home during the coronavirus. Pick up this book. It's like advanced therapy, but takes you through the steps of healing that part of you. We all have a little girl and a little boy in us. And if you got hurt a couple of times as you went through life, sometimes there's this doubt in you that just keeps nagging you, even as an adult. I know my little girl, Renee, did not trust people. And I put men through hell. I put them through tests because I wanted to make sure. And I pushed a lot of people away because I had this fear that they would leave me. So I was accusing people of doing things. This was before I had done all of this work that took me a long time to put together. And then I studied for years to learn what I teach. And it is very powerful. Everything you think, everything that you say to people, and every prayer that you pray is really your reality. So if it's like, oh God, I'm so alone, I'm never going to find anybody, or hey God, I'm a great person, I'm ready for somebody awesome because my heart is finally open, So heal yourself, You can go, I tell people you can take every one of my classes, my heart things, my love support, but it's still you that has to do the inner work to unravel whatever it is that's tying up your heart, right? And for the people,
and I think too, the more you grow, really, the more rewarding it becomes. It truly does, because you want to meet that right person, and you want to know in your hearts that that's really truly what it is. And so it's about chemistry. I know, we hear a lot about chemistry, but it goes beyond that. It goes more into a soul connection, and then also into a personal level of your core. Do you have that true connection of what you feel like that you want to do, and that you can give love to someone else. We so often, I think, we move forward in a relationship, we don't truly give that love to someone else, and that's very, very vital. I think your book is great. Let's share with everyone how they can get it. So I'm gonna share here you also have a free gift. I checked out your website, and you've got so if you guys want a free gift, it's right there on her website, and it's Renée Piane, and it's Piane. So again, it's www.renee, RENEE, and then her last name is PIANE.com. And there is where you can find that love design session. And I think that's important, because I was looking over it and I thought, I think this is very cool. So I hope that you guys will check this out, because we want you in the right frame of mind. We want you to meet the right person. We want you to fall in love, live happily ever after. And so I think Renee has it.
To anybody at any age. I had a client at 63 said, I'm done. I don't know. We did visioning. I'm totally into visioning. And I think I'm going to even teach my way of doing visioning, because I vision my home, my husband, my life, my books, my everything. It's really you really putting it out there that what you really want, but not such a strict list, but the way you want to feel. You want to feel joyful and committed. And I'm really big into rituals, teaching couples how to have rituals to keep it spicy. And so I'm speaking now after being married for almost 15 years. I met the love of my life that I had met when I was in my 20s. My love story will inspire you, because I was 45 when I got married. And my dad was like, who the hell is ever going to be able to put up with you in this singles world with men all over you taking men shopping? They're not going to like it. I said, well, it has to be somebody confident, somebody that's family oriented. And when you know yourself so well, all you have to do is ask like 5 or 6 questions. And then you can sit back and say, wow, this date was not the man or woman for me, but now I know who I am, and I can ask these questions. And I have hundreds of them in my book. And I teach people how to know yourself so well and know how you're going to speak about everything, and tell your family. If I don't know about you, but I used to get pressured. Did anybody out there get pressured? You're getting old. How come you're not married? What's going to happen to you? Nobody's going to believe you. And I said, when I marry the man I'm going to marry, because I put in my order for somebody really awesome, when people see me, they're going to see love. You want to be, so this is one little tip before you go. When you see a couple, and many people will, now we are, in these times where we're not walking around and allowed to talk to people, but I know when I see love, like I see couples that are in love, and ever since I was a little girl, I would walk up and I would say, you look like you're really in love. How did you find each other? How did you find each other? Get inspired. I am actually looking for real love stories right now. Like like romantic love stories. So if you have one from working with this beautiful Cece, or you have a story that you think would inspire other people, I would love to hear it. So I want you to call me and call me for your free session. And I hope that every person out there that has time at home, even if you're married, this book might help get real about love. Because if you've been carrying resentments from years and years, it's time to move on, open your heart, and learn everything you need so that you can find extraordinary love. And that's what my life is about, is to inspire you never to give up on love, and to know that people like Cece, people like myself, this is sort of our ministry to the world, because love to me is the most important thing. Right, Cece?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I know that they can get the book on your website, but do they also carry it on Amazon?
My book is on Amazon. It comes in Audible, Kindle, and book form. I would highly recommend that you get it from there. It'll be a lot faster because the post offices around here are a nightmare and they won't let me send it. And if you do get it, email me, because when you buy books on Amazon, they never let you know who bought it. So if you buy it and write to me, I will send you the vowels that come with the book. It comes inside the book, and I will email them to you. And I'd love for anybody to stay connected with me on Facebook, LinkedIn. That's where I met Cece. I saw that beautiful smile, and I'm like, I got to be on her show. I mean, we're up to spreading love on the world, around the world, and that's my job, and that's your job. Yeah. So we are sisters, right? We're like sisters.
Absolutely. And everyone, her phone number is 310-827-1100. I'm sorry, I'm recovering from a cold. Not the coronavirus, but I am recovering.
It's best though. The best thing to do is just to write to me. I would go to my you can just email me at Renée Piane. And if you could put that, they can just email me. I would not like that on the air, because then spammers spam me. But find me on my website, go to my contact page. It comes right to me. And my phone, I will answer my phone, but I have been doing a lot of sessions. So you can send me an email of when you're free and what time zone you're in, and I would love to help you. And life is rich with love, and you can't ever give up. So if your heart feels inspired, I know that my work and Cece's work and all of the joy that she brings, I'm so happy to be here on this show. Thank you for this opportunity, Cece, and your spirit. I can feel it from here. She's just a love bug,
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm so glad, because you're an expert in your field, and I know that what I really liked is that we talked about divorce and dealing with relationships after that transition. That's so vital. It's so important. Most people won't talk about that, and I think that's really a very, very important topic. And so I'd love to have you back on again and talk a little bit more about that transition, because I think that's really truly a key for people to heal. And so I would love to.
Because
I'd love to have you back on.
When you're in families and everybody's still married, they really don't know what to tell you, and the judgment that some religions put on families, it really makes it very difficult. So when I take people through it, I literally give them scripts for their families, for their friends, because you need a core group in the beginning to get you stable, so that you're really ready, not necessarily even to date, but just to get ready for what's going to happen with your kids. They will get affected. And if you don't watch out, if you're in pain, you're going to pass on the pain that I saw when I was a kid. So it's really important, the things you say to your children, the things you are saying even to yourself during it. It's you have to be loving, and that's why when people work with me, where's my beautiful heart? It's right here.
What happened?
I have hearts everywhere. You got to hold, when you read my book, it usually comes with a heart. So you have to put a heart, because you got to hold on to your heart and be honest with yourself about what happened. Because usually divorce it's a two-way thing, and you have to learn the lessons. And when you do, you can love even stronger, and you can teach your children to love both of you, even through the pain. And if you
sure. It's a journey. It's a journey that we go through, and absolutely, I think on the other side, it's wonderful things are going to happen to each and every person out there. So yeah, I love having you on. And the time went by very, very quickly. We're going to have to say goodbye, but I do appreciate the time you spent with us. And thank you so much. You have a wealth of information. We covered just a sliver tonight. So I hope we can have you back on again. If you have nothing to do, come and join us. And
I would love to.
We would love that. We would absolutely love that. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you are so welcome. And now I'm going to be creative, and I'm going to be on Facebook Live myself tomorrow night. If anybody wants to join me,
cool.
Connect with me on Facebook there too. I'm going to be giving tips on how to keep like the house energy in the house, because I'm home with my husband and my dog, and I am a people person. So I'm going a little crazy.
I know a lot of people are. So we're doing, we're going to do a happy hour here in a little bit on the station.
Good.
Well, listen, I'm going to run, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. It is so.
All right. Blessings to everyone. Keep your heart open to love. Get the book, and I'll send you the vows, and blessings to everybody. We're going to get through this. Lots of inspiration and love to you. Bye.
Well, thank you, everyone. It was so nice to have you guys join us here tonight. Again, I want to say a big shout out to our sponsors tonight. It's Quest Fine Jewelers, and their phone number is 877-860-0826. And of course, you can reach them right on a WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. They're on our sponsors page, so you guys can check them out. So I hope that you will certainly do that. I've got a little video for you regarding Quest, and so I'd like to share that with you here for just a moment. So if you will just bear with me, I'm getting kind of used to how to do all of this. So we're learning how to do it, and we'll see. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you will check out Quest Fine Jewelers, and I want to thank them so much for sponsoring the show. Again, we had our wonderful guest here with us tonight, Renée Piane, and she's wonderful. So you guys must check out her book. And again, I'll put it up here for you. Get Real About Love, and also Love Mechanics, Power Tools to Build Successful Relationships with Women. Let's face it, we all need some help along the way. So let's read these books and really kind of, jumpstart ourselves to be able to understand what we're really looking for in life. And again, let's connect with Renée. I hope that you guys will do that. And again, her website is www.renee, R-E-N-E-E, Piane, P-I-A-N-E, and it's.com. So again, check out that love design session, because I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought you guys would really enjoy it. So you guys, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are the #1 singles internet talk network, and we're really proud of it, but we can only be that because of you, and we want to thank you so much. I am CC Schatz, a doyen of relationship building, helping you and connecting you with awesome people like Renée each and every week. Again, our website is goingsolomedia.com, and check out our YouTube channel with all the wonderful shows that we have, both from my show and all the other great shows we have here on WGSN-DB. So I'll catch you back here, same time, same place. And I can't wait for it. So next Thursday, bye for now.